Gang Minecrafters, this is MC Rap, and I want to talk about what an Amethyst needs in order to have the biggest impact on Minecraft, particularly in the cave update. Now, I really think it's a very simple thing. You know, we have plenty of ores in Minecraft, and we're getting copper ore as a new ore, and we're getting new cave-related blocks, such as plants and the upcoming stalactites, among other things, right? But I think Amethyst in particular has the specific quality, has the current foundation in order to have a good impact. And so I think they're pretty much just going over three things that Amethyst really needs in order to really solidify it as a very unique, worthwhile, and hugely impactful new thing coming in the cave update. First of all, it just needs a very worthwhile, non-durable use. You know, with every other ore, particularly, let's look at diamond mainly, because for every other ore you can pretty much make a farm out of after you've left early game stages. You know, it's pretty efficient to just make a very large farm once you're in the late stages of the game in order to continuously farm more ore. It simply becomes much more efficient to do so rather than constantly branching out, mining, and collecting ore. But Amethyst has the special property that you can go back to the specific geode and find it. You can just go out and find more geodes if you want, you know, more geodes to collect Amethyst from. So with that being said, you know, these farms give all the ores a non-durable use. Or like non-durable access. You can constantly fuel them. And for diamond become really durable once you make all of your diamond armor tools, probably upgrade them into netherite if you're into that, and then just equip them all with mending. And then as long as you're being careful and you don't lose them permanently, you probably just gonna have that forever. And then you can probably, and you know, most of this diamond stuff can pretty much come from villagers. You can get all of your diamond armor and diamond tools, and the mending enchantment books from your village, and just constantly just fuel them, constantly just use your farms and in order to get the emeralds, in order to get the diamonds. But Amethyst really needs to stray away from this, and I think this is something they tried to do with netherite as well, which I was very pleased by. The fact that netherite is something that you have to spend a lot of time mining for in order to get, and I think Amethyst should be the same way, especially since it's coming in the cave update. You know, the cave update shouldn't be about creating another automatic farm that will just detect when an amethyst block is grown and break it for you and just travel it back to your base. But instead, Amethyst needs to be a mining only I guess ore material that has a worthwhile non-durable use, so that you're constantly inclined to go back to your geode and spend time mining it over and over again in order to continuously get the amethyst that, for whatever the use is, it's so worthwhile that you want to constantly spend time mining at your amethyst geode in order to get the amethyst, that because you can't equip mending to it, so you just have one amethyst use permanently. You know, it has to be something that's non-durable, that it's a consumable maybe. So like, you know, if it comes into some sort of like a food source, or like, because in the same category of like potions and food, you know, some sort of consumable that it's so worthwhile that you would want to constantly go back to your geodes to get amethyst for. I think that would be awesome. In addition, as I said, you know, we want to not have any automation be involved in the geode. We want it to be completely based on the fact that you would want to travel to it and use your pickaxe on the geode and stay close to your geode so they can constantly grow back, whatever the case may be. I think that is so important, so that it's really distinguished from every other ore, so you can't just make an automatic farm just like you can everything else, because there's not really any point of like having new ores in the cave update if you're just going to do what you did with every other ore at some point. If you're kind of just removing the uses of actually mining over time, then I think that kind of defeats the purpose of having a cave update, because that's what caves are supposed to be for, where you go down in your mine and you explore the dangers. And I think that serves that perfectly. And I think the third thing was pretty much just keeping the geode structure intact. One thing I would like to see that, you know, maybe the amethyst the budding amethyst grow slower if they don't have their original blocks surrounding them, like regular non-budding amethyst blocks surrounding them, as well as the tuff and the I think it's calcite blocks that make up the outer layer of the geode. I think as long as each budding amethyst can like sense that there is a block, like all 3 of those blocks in its near vicinity, then it'll actually generate the amethyst at its normal pace. And then if some of this is removed, then it would be either slower or maybe even completely no longer functioning. And I think that's super important because in Minecraft we are constantly seeking out to kind of make everything as efficient as possible and removing so much of the world and like terraforming in such an obscene way that I think if the geode promotes the idea that we want something that we kind of want to maintain and protect over time in order to get this special crystal that has a very worthwhile use that we can only go back to mine for, I think that'll really make the amethyst super unique and very worthwhile in its specialized purpose in Minecraft. And I want to keep this short because I think it's a very simple idea and I don't want to waste anyone's time. So with that being said, don't be a Fortnite fool, hyper, or a Roblox reject. Always be an amazing Minecraft master. Stay blocky.